Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to do card reviews of the two Battle Royale Rewards that came out a couple days ago, as well as the headliners that came out, which is Jake McGee. So the two Battle Royale Rewards are Manny Machado 2015 Gold Glove card, as well as a Prime Dave Parker from whenever he played with the Pittsburgh Pirates. We're going to go over these three cards. I'm also going to implement a new system for these card reviews. Essentially, I'm going to rate the cards after I go over each one. Pretty much a 1 out of 5 rating, except instead of stars, they're going to be Chewies. I hope you guys like it. You guys should hit that subscribe button. Continue to grow the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's get into the video and see what these cards look like. So this is the first of the two Battle Royale 12-0 rewards. This is a 2015 Gold Glove Manny Machado third base card with a secondary position of shortstop. So in 2015, Manny Machado won the Gold Glove at third base. Some of his offensive statistics for that season in 2015 were he batted .286, he had a .359 on-base percentage with a .502 slugging and .681 OPS, as well as he had 35 home runs, 86 RBIs, and 20 stolen bases. He finished 4th in the MVP race. He was an all-star and obviously won the Gold Glove, hence why this is a Gold Glove card. That was his offensive stats. On defense, he had 18 defensive runs saved compared to the average third baseman, and he had a 96.1 fielding percentage. Now, Machado's won the Gold Glove twice in his career. This season, his two top competitors were Beltre and Longoria. Both had off years defensively. They're also guys that have prevented Machado from winning Gold Gloves early on in his career. As well as Matt Chapman was not the third baseman for the Oakland Athletics yet, which he has won the last two Gold Gloves at third base in the American League. I don't know if you guys know too much about the Gold Glove, but essentially each position wins a Gold Glove in each league. So there's an American League third base Gold Glove as well as a National League Gold Glove at third base. So that's kind of the year rounded up for Manny Machado in 2015. Now let's look at the attributes that these cards have compared to the stats that he had in real life. So he has 98 contact versus righty, 79 contact versus lefty with 95 power versus righty, and 81 power versus lefty with 88 vision. He has 85 discipline and 99 clutch. So essentially, he hit right-handed pitching better than left-handed pitching that year. He also didn't strike out that much compared to some of his more recent seasons. He did hit 35 home runs in the regular season, which means he does have pretty decent power. And I think he finished in the top 10 in the American League in home runs that year. So it does make sense that he has a lot of power versus righty and lefty at that 80+. So it's very good. This is one of the better hitting cards that you'll see that can play shortstop in the game. Now, the reason Manny Machado has a secondary position as shortstop for this season, he actually played 6 or 7 games at shortstop for the Baltimore Orioles. Most of the year he played at third base. And this was actually the only year in his entire career that he played 162 games, and over 155 of them were at third base. So, looking at his fielding, he has 95 fielding, 98 arm strength. Everyone knows that Manny Machado has a huge arm with 80 arm accuracy and 93 reaction. The biggest reason he has 80 arm accuracy on this card is because he made quite a few throwing errors from third base. He was super nasty with the glove, made very little errors with the actual glove. Some of his throws were offline. He actually had double-digit errors this season at 13, but he had so many more defensive opportunities than other third basemen that his fielding percentage stayed high and his defensive runs saved were still very good and by far the best at third base in the American League. He has 62 speed, 58 stealing, and 56 base running aggressiveness. I would assume that this should probably be a little bit higher. He did still 20 bases. I mean, 20 bases isn't that many, but it's still more than the average, I would assume. So I think his stealing should probably be a little bit higher on this card. But it's still not that bad. You're really not going to steal a Manny Machado anyways. He's not really a speedster. Let's take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are Hitting Machine, Bomber, 20/20 Vision, Walker, Soft Hands, Quick Reflexes, Cannon, Sniper, Pressure Cooker, and Unbreakable. Alright, so he has great quirks. He has Hitting Machine, Bomber, and the Walker, the 20/20 Vision. He obviously has great defensive quirks. This card's really, really good. However, the only way to get him is a 12-0 BR run, or he's about 400,000 stubs, which is, I think, the most expensive card in the game right now. For his attributes, I just don't think Machado's that great for what it takes to get him, especially for 97 overall. I think there's better third basemen in the game right now, as well as shortstops, even defensively. So I'm going to give this card a 2.5 Chewies here. I don't think it's that good. I wouldn't invest the stubs it costs to get him. On top of, I just think you get Key Brian Hayes if you wanted a defensive third baseman, and he's pretty much as good as this Machado is, and he's even faster. Here is the second 12-0 Battle Royale reward in Dave Parker. It's his prime card when he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, right field with a secondary of left field. He's left-handed batting, right-handed throwing, 6'5", 225 pounds. And he has diamond hitting and diamond defense. So on this card, he's age 28. Dave Parker was 28 years old in 1979 when the Pirates won the World Series. So I'm going to assume these prime attributes are based off of the 1979 season and the 4 seasons before that. So 1975 to 1979, when he was a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And everyone kind of knows these Pittsburgh Pirates are the ones with Willie Stargell that use the song We Are Family. And they kind of had a big run in 1979 to win the World Series. In 1978, Dave Parker won MVP. So I'm assuming that's part of his prime years, as well as he always finished in the top 20 of the MVP race in this 5-year period. In 1977 and 78, he won the batting title in the National League. He also won 3 Gold Gloves and hit 20 home runs in 4 of the 5 seasons. The other season, he only hit 17, but he also missed about 30 games due to injury. So he probably would have hit over that 20 mark. So that explains why this card has pretty decent power when you're looking at the attributes and we go over them. What I will say is I'm not sure why he has a secondary position of left field. He actually never played left field in his prime. He only played right field. The only other position you could even argue with, and they weren't going to give it to him, was he played second base for about 6 games in 1977. I don't know why he played second base, but he did. So he has a secondary of left field. I don't know if it's warranted or not. I think it's just because he's a corner outfielder and they wanted to make the card more appealing because it is a 12-0 Battle Royale card. So let's get into his attributes because I think this card is actually very good. This is 114 contact versus righty, 111 contact versus lefty. He has 79 power versus righty, 80 power versus lefty with 90 vision, 77 discipline, and 97 clutch. His fielding for right field is very, very good. 85 fielding with 98 arm strength, 94 arm accuracy, and 74 reaction with 70 speed, 58 stealing, and 68 base running aggressiveness. So in right field, he has a cannon that is very accurate. That will help out a lot in right field. I really like this card. I think he's actually a better option as a card than Manny Machado. I know he's not selling for as much. I think he's about 280K stubs compared to Machado at 400K. But I think he's actually the better option if you're going to keep the card. If you go 12-0 in BR, please pick the Machado. He's worth like 120K more. I would sell Machado and buy Parker. I mean, that's just logic, right? So let's look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are Hitting Machine, Bomber, 20/20 Vision, Cannon, Sniper, Pressure Cooker, Unbreakable. So he has some good hitting quirks here with Hitting Machine, Bomber, and 20/20 Vision. He's going to be a hard guy to get out, especially with those high contact numbers. I'm sure he has a tremendous PCI, especially at the higher difficulties. Cannon and Sniper are definitely nice for right fielders. I'm going to give this card 4 Chewies, and the reason I'm going to give it 4 Chewies is because I think overall this card is an amazing right fielder, especially in the game right now. You can compare his arm to essentially Joey Gallo, I think everyone can admit is probably the best arm in the corner outfield right now in the game. And until like an Ichiro comes out, I don't know if someone will be defensively better than Dave Parker when it comes to a right fielder because you need them to have a big arm, especially to make that throw to third base. As well as he has great contact and power from both sides of the plate. He's a left-handed swing. This card could get bumped up to a 4.5 or a 5 Chewies, depending on what his swing is. I haven't used Dave Parker that much. So if he does get bumped up, and that I will make an edit in the description of the video. Guys, these are the 2 Battle Royale rewards for 12-0. Comment below and let me know what you guys think about them. Which one do you guys think is better? Do you think that either of these cards are really worth 250 plus K stubs? Personally, I don't think either one is worth the stubs. I'm hoping that Dave Parker drops down later on for a Pirates-themed team since I'm a Pirates fan. But he's at 4 Chewies. I hope you guys agree. Let's go check out this Jake McGee. Alright guys, this is the set 24 headliner. Jake McGee, closing pitcher, left-handed throwing, throws 3 pitches, 4-seam fastball, slider, and curveball. It's his prime card from when he played with the Tampa Bay Rays. He also played at the back end of his career with the Colorado Rockies. He's no longer a pitcher in Major League Baseball. This card right here, I believe they went off of 4 years in his prime from 2012 to 2015. The age on the card is 27. In 2014 was when he was 27, but I included the 2015 season as well because 2014 was actually kind of an off year for him. 2015 was a much better year. 2014 was when he was a closer, so I'm assuming that's why they put this as a closing pitcher. However, Jake McGee's prime was really as a setup man. Him and Fernando Rodney in 2012 and 2013 were one of the best 1-2 punches in the American League. So I'm not sure why they didn't just make him a relief pitcher. I don't know what the bonus of him being a closing pitcher is compared to a relief pitcher, especially in online play. But he's a closing pitcher, so it has to be based off of 2014. But it's a prime card, so it's based off a couple years, and I'm going to give him 2012 to 2015. Let's go over how he did. From those 4 years, he had a 10.8 K per 9 or higher, which was actually in the top 5 averages of all pitchers in the American League. He averaged 6.5 hits per 9 or lower in that 4-year period. His ERA was under 2.5 all but 1 year. He had a whip of under 1 all of 1 year. And it was actually 2013 was his outlier year, not 2014. So this card's based off 2014 when he was a closer, but his outlier year was actually 2013, going back and looking at the stats. And those were the years where his numbers were a little bit higher, but this is based on his prime, more than 1 year. So, he also had at least 27 holds or more in those years, 2 of which in 2012 and 2013, he had 48 and 52 holds in back-to-back years whenever he was the setup man for Fernando Rodney. In this 4-year period, Jake McGee was one of the best relief pitchers in the entire league, hands down. Let's look at his attributes and how they relate to that. He has 25 stamina, 109 hits per 9, 115 K per 9, with 89 base on balls per 9, 93 home run per 9, 96 pitching clutch, 89 control with 92 velo and 90 break. Looking at his pitches, he's going to throw a fastball that's going to hit 100 miles an hour with the 98 right there, as well as a slider that's 87 and a curveball that's 78. He also does have a little bit of a goofy release that hides the ball if they didn't change it from previous seasons. So I actually am a huge fan of this Jake McGee. Let's look at his quirks. His quirks are pressure cooker, stingy, untouchable, control artist, grounded, cheesy, and knee buckler. So he has the cheesy and knee buckler, which will really help him out because he throws 2 breaking balls in the slider and the curveball. Cheesy will help him because he throws the 4-seam fastball. The biggest letdown to this card is maybe they just have a changeup, but he does have really good quirks for a relief pitcher. He has the high pitching clutch. He has the high hits per 9 and the high Ks per 9 that we're looking for. I think this is one of the best relief pitchers that's in the game right now, and he's left-handed. There's a shortage of left-handed relief pitchers unless you're going to put in a starter or you have the Billy Wagner that is the AL West collection reward. Other than that, there's not too many lefty relievers out there that are high-end like this Jake McGee is, especially at his price around $45K in stubs. So I'm going to give this Jake McGee 4.5 Chewies just because of the rarity of the position that he's at and how good his attributes are. And I know that this Jake McGee has a pretty good release point when he's pitching, especially for a lefty. All right, guys, that wraps up the review of Machado, Parker, and McGee. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like the new system of the Chewies. It's going to be a permanently implemented thing. I think it'll help you guys out a little bit whether or not you should get the card, because I know I just kind of go over the attributes. And I don't know if that does it justice about how good I feel the card personally is, or if it's a card worth getting, worth investing in. I know with the top 10 lists, it might help a little bit, but I think this is a little bit better, especially whenever I'm going over all cards. I'm going to start doing card reviews on everything and anything that comes out, so there will be some shorter videos coming your way in the future, because like a headliner is only 1 card, so it probably won't be too long of a video, but it will give an accurate description. Also, from now on, all cards that come out, I'm going to look up the stats of the year that the card was made, as well as if it's a prime, those group of years for the prime. If it's a signature series, it's just going to kind of be based on the player's career, and we'll go over that a little bit. those will be a little bit more intensive because careers are pretty long for some of these players. However, I hope you guys enjoyed that, especially with the Manny Machado. I found it interesting to see that he was actually hitting the ball very well and finished 4th in the MVP race. I wouldn't have known that unless I looked it up. I hope that interests you guys. With that being said, you guys have a good day and be safe.